All right, 5-minute podcast is our second one, but first, how'd this even start? 5 years ago, I tore my labrum, had an identity crisis, and had no idea what to do with my time. So I bought a camera. Now at 24, I own a full-scale marketing agency that's achieved millions of views, crazy experiences, and we work with some of the biggest athletes in the world. So now we have this, the 5-minute podcast where we answer one question based off of everything we've learned so far. All right, I'm going to start how we started last time.
No, don't.
No, I am. All right, so we've been...
Let me just get into it.
No, all right, so we've been trying to think of how to start the intro because we have no idea how to do this naturally. But what were you thinking about this week that led to the question that we're ultimately doing?
Okay, I was thinking about this week. I was thinking about my college experience and where I was coming out of college.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about how all 4 years, my dream was to be a physical therapist. I got my degree in health sciences. I was in the medical field in high school. That was what I was going to do. I was going to be in the medical field, physical therapist, done deal. I graduate college, wanted nothing to do with it. At the time, I graduated. It was not like the time I wanted to get into the medical field. I put it on the back burner. I said, I'll come back to this. And then as I got closer to needing a job, I absolutely did not want to go back to that. So I'm asking this because we had two very different college experiences. You were building something up. You knew what you're going to do. You had this plan. I did not. So I'm asking you, what would you tell somebody who's in my position who is pretty much starting new? You know, they had this dream. They want to do something completely different, but they don't even know what that something different is. They have no idea where to even start.
I would say everybody says follow your passion or what you like to do or yeah, I mean, that's the cheesy way to answer, and that's fine. If you have a passion and there's jobs out there where you can follow that, then 100% you should do that. But if you're a lot of people say, well, I don't have a passion or I don't know what I like to do or whatever. Obviously you got to try different things, but if you're just trying to get into something where you can make a living out of it or you can make money doing it, I would say to follow where the money is. And what I mean by that is, what are the people with money doing? What do they need? Or basically how can you kind of navigate your way into that world? And so for myself, for example, my backup plan really was always, okay, if turning it into a marketing agency doesn't work out, if I can't figure that out, if that's just a crappy business to get into, my plan always was, I know a skill, how to use a camera, how to edit, stuff like that. I am just going to reach out to a bunch of wealthy people or wealthy business owners or whatever and say, I will build your personal brand completely free if you just let me come and learn from you, the way that they make money, so that I could ultimately learn that. And then that could turn into maybe something I want to do with my career. And so that's what I mean by go where the money is, right? I was able to learn a skill where I could offer it to somebody with a lot of money, and in exchange they could help kind of maybe mentor me a little bit. So that's what I would say. Another thing too is, if you're getting into a business, again, follow the money. Who is the person that is going to pay you, and where are they where you can make the money? So an example that I'll always use, or I've always had in my head that I've thought of for if you own a car wash business, a mobile car wash, or on the fancier end, detailing. And I'm sure there's people out there that are already doing this. I'm not saying I created this wonderful idea, but okay, follow the money. What do I mean by that? How can I explain that? So who is the person that's buying from you? Typically it's that 30 to 50 range, right? It's parents. They have cars. It's a mess inside. It's a mess outside. And they never have time to go to the car wash or to wash themselves. Okay. So there's the first problem. And you know who your consumer is. Okay. How long does it take you to wash the car or detail the car? 1 to 2 hours ish. Okay. So where are parents for 1 to 2 hours where they're trapped there and you have them there and they don't have a choice to leave? It's sports, rec fields, soccer, baseball, football, whatever. They're stuck there and they don't have a choice to leave. And it's probably the only time they have all week because they're busy running their kids around. They got their own jobs, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so That's what I mean by follow the money. Okay, your consumer is in a location where they're trapped there, and you have a business that is in that same time frame. So then you just go around and say, "Hey, this is my service. I'm here." Da 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 da. You're gonna get a few yeses. You're
Yeah.
gonna get a ton of no's, but you're gonna get a few yeses.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just getting more yeses and them referring you or being a consistent client, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have something?
I'm about to say, well, in a situation like that, like you only really need one or two yeses, especially for that specific
Yeah.
example, because word of mouth is going to be your most important thing, especially in the very beginning when you don't really have like a portfolio or like a reputation or anything to kind of back you up. All you need is one or two yeses, do a good job, and from there, it's like the snowball effect of, okay, that mom's talking to another mom. The mom's wondering how their car is so clean. Oh, so and so did this for me
Yeah.
while I was here. He's walking around, or they're walking around.
And I would say too, like, what goes along with that of, oh, like I'm not really sure what I want to do. I don't have a passion that I want to follow, whatever, is a lot of people are scared to try the things that they'll see on social media because they feel like, oh my gosh, it's posted about so much. Like it's probably oversaturated. There's no money. Like there's so many different people out there. Like everybody knows a fitness coach or a life coach, whatever. There's like two different scenarios to that. Is there people are posting about it so much because it is a good industry, but there's two different people in that. There's people who are trying to sell you something, like sell you a course or whatever, and then there's people who are just giving away their information for free. It's like, okay, well, why are they doing it? They're just a good person. Well, maybe, but also they're trying to build their personal brand, and that's the way that they're going to do it. So just because you see it a lot on social media doesn't mean it's like an industry where you can't make any money. For example, we have a videography marketing business. If you type in videographers in Tampa or marketing agency in Tampa, there's like 1,000 different ones that are going to pop up. But if it was a bad industry to get into, there would only be one or two because they would own all of the clients.
Yeah.
And there's 1,000 out here in just the city that we're in, and we're able to get clients.
Yeah.
So, and make a living off of it.
Yeah.
So like, I would say don't be afraid
Right.
just because you see a lot about something to pursue it. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how you get into it a little bit. For example, I've tried like 5 different things, like other than videography or like the videography stuff is like the drop shipping stuff, the like buying stuff for cheap and reselling at like garage sales. I've like tried to sell clothes, different stuff like that. So, and that's all stuff I just saw on social media. And then you'll learn like, okay, this is what's good, this is what's not. And you'll learn that pretty quick. But I guess that would kind of be my main point is like, don't be afraid just because you see a lot about it.
Right. And I think what's important with that too is don't be afraid to kind of change your plan a little bit. Like get into your field that you feel like you want to get into, whatever that is. For you, it was videography, and you kind of started broad. You were doing boats, you were doing yachts, you were doing aviation, you were doing restaurants, you were doing sports, and then from there, figure out what works for your specific brand. If you find yourself, let's say you're a car detailer, and you find yourself doing well, like being very personable, doing well, and that kind of stay in that consumer of the parents, stay in that business of marketing to them. If you want to get higher up, you can like change to luxury, like there's, even though certain fields are super saturated or whatever, like there's different avenues within each one. You just have to find one that works for you. Like 100%. Don't feel like you said that just because it's saturated, you can't enter in, because you can make your own spin on it, figure out what works best for you, and
also
adjust that way.
Yeah. Also, my last thing, because it's supposed to be 5 minutes, but it's never going to be 5 minutes. My last thing is you don't have to be an inventor. Mm-hmm. There are so many businesses out there that people have already thought of. Chances are the business you think of isn't the first one out there. Mm-hmm. So what I would say to that is just copy what other people have done. Yeah. Like, I know that might sound like, oh, you can't just... But there's so many YouTube videos out there. There's so much information online to where you can literally build a very high figure business just off of watching what everybody else does. So all the YouTube videos out there that are about like how to work your camera, how to edit, how to get your first marketing agency. I've watched a ton of those. And then you go on social media, all the people that are posting about videography, and then you watch, okay, how does their video flow, and then you kind of just copy that style, and then slowly you learn over time like how to make adjustments and how to do your business, and that can be replicated with any business out there. Like you don't have to be an inventor, you just have to think of something, figure out, okay, does this make sense financially in terms of what it costs to start up front, how much money I can make, and how much money I have to pay in expenses every year, and then how much money I can make every year is what I'm trying to say. And then once you figure out, okay, it's a good business from that standpoint, it's already been done in probably 1,000 different ways.
Yeah.
So just go watch what those 1,000 people did and then create your own thing from it. Because I promise you, there's 8 billion people in this world. You're not going to steal their clients, and they're probably not going to steal yours. You can just go out there and everybody can just have their own thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Don't forget the outro this time.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Thanks for watching.
I know this I mean, I know there's only probably like 30 views on this, but if anybody thinks of a question, like please comment it or send it to us, because we would love to know. We're trying not to do all the stuff that everybody always sees online all the time and people talking about the same thing. Oh, you just got to really go get them. No, like we're trying to do.
Go get them, Tiger.
Yeah, we're trying to do the stuff that people are like thinking about or worried about every day, and they don't know where to go. And like we're trying to, based off of what we did, like give them that information.